I could pretty easily say that these are the least popular games by the host country's people in Olympics history. What is good, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be heading up yet another different mountain pass. If you look carefully in the background, you can see Mount Fuji off in the distance. We should get a few good views on the road of it today. Today I'm just going to be giving you an update about what the Japanese people are thinking about the Olympics. We are just days away, and I've given a few updates about this. One was 6 months ago and one was about a year ago. Now that we're so close, how did the Japanese general population feel? Let's talk about it. I'm sure many of you are aware that Japanese summer is incredibly hot and very, very humid. So I have a favor to ask. It has been shown by research from the University of Tokyo that if you hit the like button, temperatures here will drop 1 or 2 degrees and help us feel cool. And the humidity can drop by as much as 15% if you hit the subscribe button. So please help us out here in Japan. Like and subscribe. Okay, with that out of the way, as we head through this tunnel and head up towards Mount Fuji, let's get into today's topic about how the Japanese are feeling about the Tokyo Olympics just days away. Now, if you watched my past Tokyo Olympic videos, you will know that, well, they've been generally pretty unpopular. I will say this. I have to come clean and say that I was actually very positive about the Olympics. I was very happy when the Olympics were only postponed in 2020 rather than canceled. And the reason why was, in my mind, it was a case where the moneyed interests in having the games here, you know, the construction companies, the officials that were going to get money to help make the games happen, the various districts of Tokyo, etc., getting money to improve the infrastructure, etc., they've already gotten theirs. They've gotten their money. So who hasn't gotten their money is the local businesses, the local populace, the ordinary people who would benefit from the tourists and spectators coming to the games. That was my rationale. I was thinking, okay, so the big, potentially corrupt officials have got their money already. At least we need to make it the case that ordinary people can get their money for the games as well. That was my rationale. But it seems like that's not going to happen. The games are happening and there are no foreign spectators. Not many Japanese are going to be allowed into the stadiums either, so basically those particular personal economic benefits are falling by the wayside. How did the Japanese feel about the Olympic Games at this point? It's worse than when I first did my videos 6 months and a year ago. Basically, everyone I've talked to just has nothing good to say about the games. Like, they should have been canceled, they should have been just totally thrown into the rubbish bin. And the reasons why I will get into. The first being the contrast between the Olympic Games being rolled out and how the government has rolled out vaccinations and other methods to protect the populace from the coronavirus, COVID-19. Basically, it's a pretty stark view of government priorities, officialdom priorities. Gotta have the games by hook or by crook, but, you know, getting the vaccines out, we'll kind of roll them out slowly, eventually. It'll happen when it happens. This is perhaps ironic. I mean, I thought that with the games coming up, Japan would be all over vaccination. I thought that in order to have the best possible games experience, Japan would be right on top of getting vaccines out, getting the population safe so people could travel, people could genuinely have the sort of festivities that are expected to happen around the Olympic Games. Instead, we end up with a sort of disorganized chaos. We are still in very low percentage of vaccinated population by the numbers. We're still in the kind of 60 years old and older set, so we're not down into the 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s. We're basically still in the more elderly or retired people's categories. And it's frankly pretty disappointing. And a coworker told me their view was, well, they only care about what means direct money for them. The Olympic Games means money for the government. Vaccines, there's no real money in vaccines. So the Olympics, yes. Vaccines, we'll make them happen, kinda. Very cynical take, but I've since mentioned that cynical take to others, and I just get nods of the head, like, yeah, pretty much. Hence my statement that it's a pretty stark contrast, that we can just see more clearly than usual the government's self-interest versus what's really the interest of the people, which is being safe from a pandemic versus having a giant festival, having the Olympics. It's really sad, disappointing, and if not shocking, at the very least, it's pretty depressing to see it laid out that clearly. Now, I'm not sure I'm totally 100% on board with the pure cynicism of that view, but it's very easy to imagine, let's put it that way. Another thing that bothers people here, and certainly bothers me, this is one where I'm pretty upset about. I mentioned in my plea for likes and subscribes about the heat of the Japanese summer, and it's absolutely true. I mean, Japan summers are really hot, very humid. Where I come from in Wisconsin, it gets humid sometimes, but it usually happens where there's a bunch of humidity, there's a thunderstorm, the humidity breaks, and then you have a series of dry heat days for a while. In Japan, the humidity never breaks. It just is constant. And it's all relative, too. When I go back to the States, I nearly freeze in the air conditioning there. And it doesn't seem that hot outside to me anymore. Whereas here, air conditioning is set a good 5 to 10 degrees warmer than in the US. There was an argument amongst friends on Facebook about, we set our thermostats to 68 or 70 or 72. So we're talking like 21, 22, 23 degrees Celsius. The typical temperature we have ours set to is 26 degrees Celsius. I'll put the actual conversion to that in Fahrenheit on the subtitles for American viewers, but I think that would be outlandish to most Americans. How can you have it so hot? Well, it's all relative. It's so bloody hot outside that when you come into a 26 degree Celsius air conditioner, it feels great, and that's all you need. So I suppose that's what's going on there. But at any rate, these hot summers are best alleviated by the summer traditions. I look forward to Japanese summer because summer is the time of festivals, matsuri. Summer is the time of hanabi, fireworks. Summer is the time when Japanese communities get together, have these great events, eat together, drink together, socialize together, have fireworks festivals together, and a lot of these more, I would say, pretty much all of these local matsuri are revolving around Shinto religious ceremonies where people tow or carry portable Shinto shrines known as mikoshi. So it's part religion, it's part tradition, it's part community gathering, and it's the highlight of summer for so many people, especially families with children. And for foreigners like me who love everything that's really Japanese and traditional and fun in the lines of matsuri, I love matsuri. If you want to see what a matsuri looks like, I have footage of the fire festival, the Himatsuri in Fuji Yoshida City, where I first lived in Japan. I have that footage. I'll link it in the description below. Watch that video. I don't do any talking on that video. I just show the festival.
You will soon enter Shizuoka.
We have entered Shizuoka. Thank you, Kara. Basically, matsuri are an event that greatly look forward to, and in 2020 and in 2021 they are canceled. They're not happening. Matsuri are not going on. So one of the main reasons to look forward to summer is not happening. Instead, we have to concentrate all our efforts on this giant matsuri known as the Olympics, and myself and many others are rather resentful of this. Rather than, again, putting us in a position where we feel safe from the pandemic, from the coronavirus, getting vaccines out, having real intelligent systems of prevention, whether it be various types of, lockdown or, other community prevention methods to try to curb the spread. We are in our third wave here. I mean, it is the COVID Olympics, for sure, because Tokyo is at its highest numbers once again. Basically, dumpster fire in the making. The Olympics are happening while COVID is raging once again. We're in our fourth, fifth, sixth wave, who knows? I've lost count. And we can't have our normal activities for summer. The fireworks festivals in Japan are spectacular. They are canceled as well because it's crowds gathering and spending time looking at the fireworks. Fireworks in Japan are amazing.
Left curve ahead.
I will never forget the first fireworks festival I ever went to in Japan. I was simply amazed, and it made every fireworks festival I ever attended in States look half-assed. You know the finales that American fireworks have, if you're from America? Like the finale is like a bunch of fireworks go up, boom, 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 signaling that the end has come, it's a spectacular finish, yay. Everyone claps and goes home. That spectacular finale is the entire show in Japan. Like, when that's happening, that's not the finale, that's the beginning, the middle, and the end. The whole show is just multitudes of fireworks going off with barely a pause in between sessions. So yeah, Japanese fireworks are amazing. I missed the opportunity to take my family to see the fireworks last year and this year. Instead, we have these Olympic Games that frankly no one wants. And this isn't a complaint that I'm making where people could come out of the woodwork and be like, well, if you don't like Japan, why don't you leave? Why don't you go home to America? No, I'm actually with the vast majority of the Japanese populace, in my opinion, about the Olympics. I may have supported them to begin with, but not at this point. It's ridiculous how the government priorities had put us into this pickle, basically, a COVID pickle, and it's really unfortunate. It's really foolish, and again, just in my mind and in the minds of most Japanese people, shows pretty clearly the priorities of the government: profit over people. There, I said it. I guess I am taking the cynical view. I don't know. How do you feel about the Olympics? Personally, I feel that if you're watching this video and you go and watch the Olympics, go ahead and watch the Olympics. I will probably watch some of the Olympics as well, but I've of a mind that whatever sponsors, corporate sponsors I see sponsoring the Olympics, I'm going to make a point of not buying those products for a good long time. Hashtag boycott Olympic sponsors. Let's make that a movement, maybe. I just think that we are in a world situation where the games are not... Maybe it's good for the rest of the world that's coming out of the pandemic, but it's not good for the host. I could pretty easily say that these are the least popular games by the host country's people in Olympics history. I think that's probably a fair statement to make. And it's been rather painful for the past 5-6 months for me to watch my friends on Facebook all saying, hey, I'm vaccinated, yay, I can go back to regular life. And now recent photos and videos and things on Facebook and Instagram have been, here's our vacation, and here's us at our local restaurant. Oh, it's so nice that life has gone back to normal, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, well, great, we can't go anywhere. We can't have any of our lovely summer festivals. Instead, we're stuck with these Olympic Games, which took priority over us getting back to regular, ordinary life. So yeah, I guess the more I talked about this topic on camera, the more bitter I've become. I think you can probably hear it in my voice. Anyway, that is my update. I'm going to keep running the video without commentary for a few minutes now, because we should be running into some pretty spectacular Fuji views in a few minutes here. So if you want to stick around and watch for Mount Fuji and finish this drive up the pass, then please do so. Otherwise, if you've made it this far and you haven't hit like and subscribe yet, please do so. The like button especially helps this channel to grow, and I appreciate every like that I get. I mean that truly. I do watch and check and see what people are really enjoying on my channel. If you have a topic suggestion, I invite you to suggest a topic. If there's something you would really like to hear about, please let me know. And in the comments or on Instagram, you can find me at xchapter. And I want to thank you so very, very much for watching this particular video, and I will catch you next Friday. Peace. appears that Fuji-san has decided to be coy and hide herself behind some clouds. Sorry about that.